Right now, at this very moment, a monster winter storm is assembling over the central United States. And what's about to happen in the next 72 hours could shut down the entire South for nearly a week. Drop your location in the comments right now. I need to know exactly where you are so I can give you specific timing and totals for your area. Here's what's happening. Arctic air is crashing south at speeds meteorologists haven't seen in over a decade. At the same time, massive Gulf moisture is surging north. When these two systems collide on Friday morning, we're going to witness an explosive winter event that forecasters are calling potentially historic. I'm talking about snowfall totals that could reach 12 inches in places like Nashville and Little Rock. Ice accumulation measuring over 1 full inch in Dallas and Shreveport. Wind chills plummeting to 60 degrees below zero across the northern plains. And here's the terrifying part. This storm isn't racing through. It's crawling. Some areas will see continuous precipitation for 48 straight hours. At the 30-second mark, I promised you something critical. Here it is. The European model just updated, and it's showing ice accumulation numbers that are frankly shocking. We could be looking at power outages affecting millions of people from Texas all the way to Georgia. Not for hours, for days, potentially even a full week in some locations. Let me paint you a picture of what Friday morning looks like. By noon Eastern Time, snow and freezing rain start filling in across Oklahoma and Arkansas. Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Little Rock, you're first in line. And notice the timing here. This isn't happening overnight when roads are empty. This is hitting right in the middle of the workday, right when schools are in session. Traffic is going to come to a complete standstill within hours. Here's a number that should grab your attention. By Friday afternoon, the Red River Valley will be experiencing snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. That's accumulation happening faster than road crews can possibly clear it. And we're just getting started. Comment below with your zip code if you're anywhere from New Mexico to North Carolina. I'll give you personalized timing for when this hits your neighborhood. Friday night into early Saturday morning becomes the most dangerous 12-hour window of this entire event. The storm expands rapidly across the central and southern plains. Kansas gets hammered. Missouri sees blizzard conditions. Memphis and Nashville, you're waking up to heavy snow by 6 o'clock Saturday morning. But here's what keeps me up at night. The ice. Starting early Saturday, a corridor stretching from Leach, Texas all the way to Huntsville, Alabama, becomes a freezing rain factory. The Interstate 10 corridor is ground zero for what could easily become a crippling ice storm. Dallas-Fort Worth, Shreveport, Monroe, Florence, you're all at extreme risk. Let me give you a devastating statistic. When ice accumulation exceeds half an inch, approximately 80% of power lines in affected areas go down. We're forecasting accumulations potentially double that amount across northern Texas and Louisiana. Atlanta, you're not safe either. Freezing rain begins Saturday afternoon and doesn't let up for over 24 hours. Northern Georgia and upstate South Carolina could see ice totals approaching 3/4 of an inch. The best part is coming at minute 5. Stay with me. While ice devastates the South, snow absolutely buries the midsection of the country. Oklahoma, southern Missouri, central and northern Arkansas, almost all of Tennessee and southern Kentucky, moderate to heavy snow continues throughout Saturday. We're talking about accumulation totals that will break records in multiple cities. And remember, we're still only talking about Saturday. This storm moves so slowly that some of you will be dealing with active precipitation from Friday morning all the way through Sunday night. That's over 60 hours of continuous winter weather. Here's where things get absolutely wild. Saturday night, Nashville and Memphis see snow intensify dramatically. Little Rock transitions from freezing rain back to heavy snow. Dallas-Fort Worth remains locked in freezing rain throughout the entire day Saturday, then finally transitions to snow late Saturday night. Drop a comment right now if you're in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, or Mississippi. You need to see what's coming next. Northern Alabama and northern Georgia, moderate to heavy freezing rain continues through Saturday night. Atlanta Metro and Huntsville, ice accumulates at dangerous rates. Power grids in these areas are going to be severely tested. Overnight Saturday into Sunday, this storm stretches from New Mexico all the way through the mid-Atlantic. That's over 1,500 miles of active winter weather happening simultaneously. Freezing rain continues from the Carolinas back into North Texas. Snow falls from New Jersey all the way to the Texas Panhandle. By early Sunday morning, the heaviest snow shifts to Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. This is when power outages start becoming a widespread problem. Trees weighted down by ice and snow begin snapping. Power lines come down. Transformers blow. Here's a number that should terrify you. Wind chills Sunday morning in parts of North Texas drop to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Now imagine losing power in your home with those temperatures outside. No heat, no electricity. This is why preparation starting right now is absolutely critical. Sunday daytime, freezing rain continues across the Carolinas. And here's the question mark in this forecast. How far south does this winter precipitation push? Houston, you're on the bubble. New Orleans, you could see impacts. The speed of this system determines everything. Don't miss this next part. This is crucial information. If you know anyone living anywhere from Texas to Virginia, share this video immediately. Get the word out. We're going to cover this event in depth all week long with multiple updates daily. Sunday night, we still have an active winter storm affecting the East Coast. Freezing rain remains possible from Mississippi back into the Carolinas. Moderate to heavy snow continues across the Northeast with 6 to 12 inches likely in many areas. This storm finally tapers off Monday as it moves off the coast. But behind it, extreme cold settles in across almost the entire lower 48 states east of the Rockies throughout the beginning of next week. Now let me show you something fascinating. The European model is being extremely aggressive with this storm, but I want to give you perspective by comparing it to the GFS model, which shows a very similar event but with slightly different timing and placement. The GFS model shows the winter storm Friday night into Saturday with freezing rain and sleet across Texas, Louisiana, and parts of the Deep South. Heavy snow develops across the Central Plains. But here's where models diverge. The GFS pushes snow slightly further south and east compared to the European model. Why does this matter? Because 50 miles can be the difference between 12 inches of snow or just 2 inches. It can mean the difference between no ice or crippling ice accumulation. At minute 5, I promised you critical information. Here it is. Both models agree on one terrifying detail. Ice accumulation across the southern states will be catastrophic. We're not talking about a light glaze. We're talking about accumulations that will snap trees, down power lines, and make roads absolutely impassable for days. My snowfall forecast for this event, and remember, these numbers will change as we get closer. Oklahoma City, 8 to 12 inches. Little Rock, 10 to 14 inches. Nashville, 8 to 12 inches. Memphis, 6 to 10 inches. These are preliminary estimates based on current model guidance. But here's what you need to understand. Winter storm watches currently in effect for Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas are only calling for 4 inches or greater. Forecasters are being conservative because we don't know exactly where the heaviest snow band sets up. The National Weather Service blend of models confirms this pattern. Heavy snow across Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Panhandle, Arkansas, extending back toward the East Coast. Now the East Coast, this is where things get absolutely insane. Parts of Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, Tennessee, and Kentucky could see over 12 inches of snow. The European model is showing a major winter storm in these areas, with some locations potentially receiving 18 to 24 inches. The GFS model has a more condensed snow shield, focused on Virginia Beach, western North Carolina, northern Georgia, and extreme southeastern Tennessee, where over a foot of snow is definitely on the table. The National Weather Service blend shows a really high-end scenario from Nashville back into Virginia Beach and Washington, D.C. 8 to 10 inches likely. Some localized areas near 2 feet of snow. This would be absolutely historic for a winter storm of this magnitude. Comment below if you're watching from the East Coast. You need to know what's heading your way. This slow movement is precisely why we're expecting such extreme totals for both snow and ice. This could genuinely be one of the most dangerous winter storms we've seen in at least 5 years. Now, I don't want to scare you, but the ice accumulation is by far the most concerning aspect. We could be looking at over half an inch of ice anywhere from West Texas all the way to Atlanta between Friday and Sunday. Let me be crystal clear about what this means. We're not just talking about travel impacts. We're not just talking about your driveway becoming an ice rink. We're talking about a genuine threat of widespread power outages lasting several days, potentially even up to a week in some scenarios. Southern Arkansas, North Texas, Northern Louisiana, and Atlanta, Georgia, you're all at extreme risk. I'm genuinely hoping the freezing rain forecast trends downward over the next few days, because if this scenario unfolds as currently modeled, it will be devastating. Heat could be out for multiple days, while an Arctic blast sends wind chills to 0 degrees in parts of North Texas by Sunday morning. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Here's something critical to understand. Things will absolutely change over the next few days. We don't know exactly how much ice will fall in your specific neighborhood, but we have high confidence that ice will occur across that entire outlined area. The GFS model has ice accumulation slightly further south. The GFS has been somewhat of an outlier, so I'm not confident we'll see ice that far south. But the National Weather Service blend shows a large, broad area of ice accumulation, stretching from Dallas-Fort Worth and western Texas through Leech and Amarillo all the way to northern Mississippi and northern Georgia. It's time to start preparing. Not panicking, not rushing to the store to buy all the toilet paper, but making sure you have basic necessities ready. Make sure you have your medications ready, in case power outages last several days. Get generators fueled and tested. Gather flashlights. Charge all your devices. Fill bathtubs with water. Stock up on non-perishable food. Don't miss what I'm about to tell you next. This is the most important part of this entire forecast. Back in the southeast, many areas across the Carolinas, northern Georgia, and northern Alabama face significant freezing rain risk this weekend. This occurs primarily middle to late Saturday into Sunday, possibly extending into early Monday. Even if we see 2 to 12 inches of freezing rain in northern Georgia, that doesn't mean 2 to 12 inches of ice accumulates. But we're most likely talking about over half an inch of ice for most of northern Georgia and upstate South Carolina if current trends continue. Start preparing in these areas immediately. No reason to panic. Just be ready for a possible ice storm this weekend. The extreme cold accompanying this system deserves serious attention. A massive Arctic air mass dives out of Canada Thursday and Friday, bringing brutal cold to Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and across the Midwest and northern plains. Wind chills could drop as low as 60 degrees below zero Friday and Saturday morning across the upper Midwest. This is life-threatening cold. Frostbite can occur in under 10 minutes with wind chills this extreme. Eventually, by early next week, that Arctic air plunges through the Gulf Coast and southeast. Friday morning, temperatures bottom out at 30 degrees below zero across the Midwest and northern plains. Saturday begins what could be 80 to 100 hours of continuous freezing temperatures from Texas into Georgia and the southeast. Any ice accumulation happening Saturday or Sunday remains frozen at least through Monday, possibly into Tuesday before temperatures finally climb above freezing. This is a very dangerous winter storm. Please prepare starting right now. Here's your action plan. Subscribe to this channel immediately. Follow us on all social media platforms. We'll provide the first updates on any major changes to this storm over the next several days. I'll be completely honest with you. This is one of the most concerning winter storm trends I've analyzed in years. I'm not trying to scare you, but this is shaping up to be genuinely dangerous. Now is the time to begin serious preparation. Share this video with friends and family. Make sure they're aware of the situation. We'll have 2 videos every single day starting tomorrow. Live coverage with dozens of storm chasers begins Friday or Saturday, continuing at least through Sunday or Monday. Let me give you one final critical piece of information. The combination of extreme ice accumulation, heavy snow, and brutal cold all happening simultaneously across such a large area is exceptionally rare. The last time we saw a similar setup was over a decade ago, and it resulted in catastrophic damage across multiple states. Power companies are already pre-positioning crews. Emergency management agencies are activating response plans. State governments are declaring states of emergency before this storm even begins. That should tell you everything you need to know about how serious this situation is. If you're in the impact zone, today is the day to prepare. Tomorrow might be too late. Friday morning, conditions deteriorate rapidly. By Friday afternoon, travel becomes dangerous. By Friday night, travel could be impossible across large sections of the South. This isn't an exaggeration. This isn't hype. This is a genuine meteorological emergency unfolding in real time. Your safety depends on the actions you take right now. Don't wait. Don't assume it won't be that bad. Don't think you can ride this out unprepared. Get ready now while you still have time. Drop your exact location in the comments. Tell me your city and state. I'll respond with specific timing and impact expectations for your area. The more information you have, the better prepared you can be. Remember, ice accumulation of just 1/4 inch makes roads completely impassable. We're forecasting accumulations 4 times that amount in some locations. Power lines cannot withstand that weight. Trees will snap. Infrastructure will fail. Combined with temperatures well below freezing for multiple days, any power outage becomes a true emergency. Pipes freeze and burst. Homes become dangerously cold. Travel remains impossible even after precipitation ends because ice doesn't melt when temperatures stay below 32 degrees. This is why I keep emphasizing preparation. This is why I need you to take this seriously. The next 72 hours will be critical. Model guidance will continue updating. Forecasts will be refined. We'll learn more about exact track and intensity. But the overall pattern is locked in. This storm is happening. The only questions remaining are exactly where the worst impacts occur. Stay tuned to this channel. We're tracking every single model run, every update, every change in the forecast. You'll be the first to know when anything develops. And one more time, share this information widely. The more people who see this, the more lives we can potentially save through proper preparation. Winter storms are beautiful. They're fascinating from a meteorological perspective, but they're also incredibly dangerous when they reach this magnitude. Respect the forecast. Prepare accordingly. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next update with the latest information on this historic winter storm. Now let me break down exactly what this means for specific major cities across the impact zone. Because general forecasts are helpful, but you need to know what's happening in your backyard. Oklahoma City. Let's start with you. Friday morning begins with light snow around 10 o'clock. By noon, snowfall rates increase to 1 inch per hour. This continues through Friday night. Saturday morning brings a brief transition to sleet, then back to heavy snow Saturday afternoon. Total accumulation, 8 to 12 inches. Ice accumulation, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Wind chills, Saturday morning, 5 degrees below zero. Your biggest threat? Friday afternoon commute becomes impossible. Roads will be impassable by 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. If you work Friday, leave early or don't go at all. Little Rock. Your forecast is equally concerning. Snow begins Friday around noon. Quickly transitions to freezing rain Friday evening. Heavy freezing rain continues all day Saturday. Saturday night transitions back to heavy snow. Total snow accumulation, 10 to 14 inches. Ice accumulation, 3/4 of an inch to 1 full inch. This is catastrophic ice accumulation. Power outages in Little Rock are virtually guaranteed. Not possible. Guaranteed. We're talking about ice weights that power infrastructure simply cannot support. Prepare for extended outages potentially lasting into next week. Nashville, you're in the bullseye for heavy snow. Light snow begins early Saturday morning around 6 o'clock. Intensifies throughout Saturday. Heavy snow continues Saturday night into Sunday morning. Total accumulation, 8 to 12 inches. Some areas south of Nashville could see freezing rain mixing in, adding ice accumulation of 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Your challenge? This is more snow than Nashville typically sees in an entire winter. City snow removal resources will be completely overwhelmed. Stay home Saturday through Monday. Memphis. Similar story. Snow begins Saturday morning. Moderate to heavy snow continues through Saturday night. Total accumulation, 6 to 10 inches. Minimal ice accumulation expected, maybe 1/4 inch. But the snow alone will shut down the city. Interstate 40 through Memphis becomes impassable Saturday afternoon. Don't even think about traveling this corridor this weekend. Dallas-Fort Worth, this is where the ice storm reaches its absolute worst potential. Freezing rain begins Friday afternoon, continues non-stop through all of Saturday, finally transitions to snow late Saturday night. Total ice accumulation, 1 full inch to potentially 1 1/4 inches. This is beyond catastrophic. 1 inch of ice accumulation will snap trees across the entire metro area. Power lines will come down by the thousands. We could be looking at power outages affecting over 1 million people lasting a full week or longer. Dallas-Fort Worth. You must prepare for an extended emergency situation. This isn't a typical winter storm. This is a disaster scenario. Shreveport, almost identical forecast to Dallas. Heavy freezing rain Friday night through Saturday. Ice accumulation approaching or exceeding 1 inch. Widespread catastrophic power outages expected. Atlanta. Your window of impact is Saturday afternoon through Sunday. Freezing rain develops Saturday afternoon. Continues through Saturday night. May linger into Sunday morning. Total ice accumulation, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Atlanta's infrastructure is not built for ice storms of this magnitude. Trees throughout the metro will snap under the weight. Power outages will be extensive. The last time Atlanta saw ice like this was 2014, and the city essentially shut down for a week. Houston. You're on the southern edge of this system. Current models show a 30 to 40% chance of winter precipitation reaching the Houston metro Saturday night into Sunday. This is highly uncertain, but stay weather aware. If this system tracks 50 miles further south than currently forecast, Houston sees significant impacts. Don't prepare for a major event yet, but don't ignore this either. Check forecasts every 6 hours through Saturday. New Orleans, similar situation. You're right on the bubble. Small shifts in storm track mean the difference between no impacts and significant icing. Monitor forecasts closely. Here's something fascinating about this storm's structure. We're dealing with what meteorologists call a Miller A cyclone. This is a low-pressure system that forms in the lee of the Rockies, then tracks eastward across the southern plains. Miller A storms are notorious for producing heavy snow and ice because they tap into Gulf moisture while pulling down Arctic air from Canada. The collision zone between these air masses becomes a winter weather factory, and this particular Miller A system is abnormally strong. Central pressure could drop to 980 millibars by Saturday. For reference, that's approaching the intensity of a Category 1 hurricane. Except instead of warm tropical air, we're talking about Arctic air and winter precipitation. Wind fields associated with this low pressure will be impressive. Sustained winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour across much of the impact zone. Gusts potentially reaching 40 to 50 miles per hour in some areas. Why does this matter? Wind combined with heavy snow creates blizzard conditions. Visibility drops to near zero. Drifting snow makes roads impassable, even after snow stops falling. And wind on ice-covered trees dramatically increases the likelihood of those trees snapping and taking down power lines. This isn't just a snowstorm. This isn't just an ice storm. This is a complete winter weather disaster package. Let me address some questions I'm already seeing in the comments. Yes, this forecast seems extreme. Yes, these numbers are alarming. But they're based on multiple computer models, all showing very similar solutions. When models converge like this 72 hours before an event, confidence is high. Could the forecast change? Absolutely. Will some areas see less than predicted? Probably. Will some areas see more than predicted? Also probably. That's the nature of winter storm forecasting, but the overall pattern is locked. Significant winter weather impacts are coming to the southern United States Friday through Sunday. That's not changing. Someone asked whether they should cancel weekend travel plans. If your travel takes you anywhere through the impact zone Friday through Sunday, the answer is 100% yes. Cancel those plans. Do not attempt to drive through this. Every single winter, people die trying to drive in conditions exactly like what we're forecasting. Don't become a statistic. Your weekend plans are not worth your life. Another question about preparation. What if you lose power for a week? How do you prepare for that? First, food. Stock non-perishable items that don't require cooking. Canned goods, crackers, peanut butter, granola bars. Assume no refrigeration, no cooking ability. Second, water. Fill bathtubs before the storm. Fill every container you have. You need 1 gallon per person per day minimum. A family of 4 needs at least 30 gallons for a week. Third, heat. If you have a fireplace, stock up on firewood. If you have a generator, fuel it and test it now. Know how to safely operate it. Never run generators indoors. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills people every winter during power outages. Fourth, medications. Ensure you have at least a 2-week supply of any critical medications. Pharmacies may be closed or inaccessible. Fifth, communication. Charge all devices fully. Invest in portable battery packs. A car can charge phones if needed, but don't run your car in an enclosed garage. Sixth, light. Stock flashlights, batteries, candles, matches. When power goes out at night, you need reliable light sources. Someone else asked about pipes freezing. Excellent question. When temperatures stay below freezing for days and you lose heat, pipes absolutely will freeze. Prevention? Let faucets drip. Moving water is much harder to freeze. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate around pipes. Know where your main water shutoff is located in case pipes burst. If pipes freeze, don't use open flames to thaw them. Use hair dryers or heating pads. Open flames can cause pipes to burst or start fires. Now, looking beyond this immediate storm, what comes next? The extended forecast shows continued cold through at least January 25th. Multiple smaller systems could bring additional snow and ice to parts of the South the following week. This isn't a one-and-done event. This is potentially the beginning of an extended cold and active pattern across the southern United States. For those of you in the north wondering why this forecast focuses so heavily on the South, here's why. Northern cities have infrastructure built for winter weather. Snow plows, salt trucks, experience. Southern cities have minimal winter weather infrastructure. A storm that would be manageable in Minneapolis becomes catastrophic in Dallas. Plus, southern homes aren't built for extreme cold. Insulation is minimal. Heating systems may be inadequate. When power goes out in sub-zero wind chills, southern homes become dangerously cold very quickly. The human toll of winter storms is almost always higher in the South for these exact reasons. Let me show you one more critical piece of data. Historical analogs. When was the last time we saw a winter storm of this magnitude affect the southern United States? February 2011. The Super Bowl ice storm. That event produced similar ice accumulation across Texas and the Deep South. Power outages affected over 4 million people. Some areas were without power for over 2 weeks. Damage estimates exceeded $5 billion. Before that, December 2000. An ice storm across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Arkansas. Over 1 million people lost power. Some remained without electricity for 3 weeks. These events are rare, but they happen. And when they do, the impacts are devastating. This storm has all the ingredients to join that list of historic southern winter disasters. I need you to understand the gravity of this situation. Meteorologists don't use words like catastrophic and historic lightly. We reserve those terms for truly exceptional events. This qualifies. The window for preparation is closing. Friday morning is less than 48 hours away as I record this. Once the storm begins, it's too late to prepare. Act now. Today. This afternoon. Get supplies. Make plans. Prepare your home. Charge your devices. Fill your gas tank. Withdraw cash in case ATMs lose power. And then once you're prepared, hunker down. Stay home. Stay safe. Stay warm. This storm will pass. The sun will come out again. Temperatures will eventually rise above freezing. Life will return to normal. But the next 72 hours are going to be incredibly dangerous for millions of people across the southern United States. Your safety is my top priority. That's why I'm providing this detailed forecast. That's why I'm urging preparation. That's why I keep emphasizing the seriousness of this situation. Take this seriously. Prepare accordingly. Weather this storm safely. And remember, we're here with you every step of the way. Updates continue through this event. We're tracking every development, every model run, every change in the forecast. You're not alone in this. Millions of people are preparing right alongside you. Emergency management is activating. Power companies are staging crews. Everyone is getting ready. Do your part. Prepare your household. Check on neighbors, especially elderly neighbors who may need assistance. Share this information with friends and family. Together, we'll get through this historic winter storm. One final thought. Winter weather can be beautiful. There's something magical about a fresh snowfall, about icicles hanging from tree branches, about the quiet that settles over a snow-covered landscape. But never forget, winter weather is also dangerous. Respect it. Prepare for it. Take it seriously. This storm will create scenes of incredible beauty across the South. Snow-covered landscapes in places that rarely see snow, but it will also create dangerous, potentially deadly conditions. Enjoy the beauty from the safety of your home. Don't venture out unless absolutely necessary. Let the plows do their work. Let the power crews do their work. Give emergency responders space to operate. Your patience and preparation could save your life. That's the forecast. That's the situation. That's what's coming. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in tomorrow's update with the latest model guidance and any changes to the forecast. This is a historic event unfolding. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Prepare, hunker down, and ride this out safely. Until next time, stay weather aware and stay safe.